What's up, guys, and welcome back to What the Elle. I'm your host, Elle Kramer, and today we're getting up close and personal because we only have one mic working today, and we just spent like the last hour and a half trying to clear my storage because it just doesn't want to be clear. There's so much space that needs to be taken care of. And today I'm with a very special guest, my friend Kali, my mentor from high school, who has just been such an impactful part of my life. If you went back to my episode, Embracing Curves, and whatever the rest of the title was, Embracing Curves, but not embracing, what was the title? Embracing Nature's Curves, but not embracing my own.
Yes.
That was the title of that episode, and Kali was an instrumental part of my formational years. Like, back in high school, she really just played a huge part into my spiritual life, my mental life, like mental health, emotional health, and everything all around. And so today I just wanted to have her on an episode to talk about growing where you're planted, because I believe that she has a lot of knowledge in this, and we're just going to be talking about that today. So before I keep blabbing on, allow her to introduce herself.
Introduce myself.
Introduce yourself, Kali.
Hi, I am Kali Boudreaux.
Oh my gosh, I have to change the name.
Maiden name is Calkins, but
I used to say Kakin.
That's terrible.
I'm sorry, I didn't know how to pronounce it.
So I think I'm 6 years older than you.
I'm 22 now.
Oh.
So you're 27?
Yeah. I keep thinking, I don't know how old I am anymore. I stopped.
I literally stopped whenever I turned 22. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
The age after 20.
Yeah.
The age, like, once you turn 21, it's just like, what are you supposed to do? Like, the ages aren't really fun anymore. Like, I don't want to turn 30.
Yeah,
like,
no. And that's the thing. We're trying to grow where we're planted and enjoy the journey we get to 30. But yes, I'm 6 years older than Elle. I'm 27, and I was born and raised here in Lafayette, Louisiana. And I have lived in Florida and Montana.
What part of Florida? St. Augustine?
St. Augustine, East Coast.
Okay, what part of Montana?
Billings. Billings is really industrial, but I was able to actually like drive to the mountains and enjoy it, so it was still very stunning. But it's a little bit east of Bozeman, I would say. And shout out to Red Lodge. Red Lodge is the base of the mountains, or Red Lodge is like this little mountain town that I used to drive to every weekend when I was in Billings. So anyways, I don't know, going on tangents, but
that's okay, as you should. We got my camera propped up on a little box, a Himalayan crystal salt lamp box. It's in the corner. It's from TJ Maxx. We got the whole bougie setup out here.
We do.
We're balling on a budget today.
Yeah,
okay?
we are.
And we have I don't know if you're watching this on YouTube, but if you are, we have one microphone because my second microphone isn't working. But we are growing where we're planted today.
We are.
And so with that, I'm just gonna dive right in. I feel like in order to have a productive conversation about growing where you're planted, I need to know, what is your experience with this phrase? Why did you decide that you wanted to pick this topic with me today? How is this relevant into your life right now?
Right, yeah, definitely right now. My husband and I, like I mentioned earlier to you, are just dealing with different challenges that we never really thought we would face, which, that's life. Life has its natural curveballs and whatnot, but I think it's really important, and this topic stuck out to me because you can't just, you kind of have to have that moral tussle, I think, internally to, stay passionate about life and find, it sounds so cliche, but just find the goodness in your day-to-day life while you're maybe somewhere you don't want to be, but where God definitely needs you, and where life is just inevitably keeping you. So I feel like growing, I feel like growing where you're planted right now for me means that I need to, especially going into the new year, like not just like in a fitness way or like a New Year's resolution, like a tacky, like, you know, not even tacky, but just like something that's gonna like die and fizzle out. Like growing where you're planted, I feel for me, gosh, it's like, do I get specific or do I not?
Yeah, get specific.
Okay, so we have intentions and plans to move away from Lafayette, Louisiana in 2025.
This is news to me. Where are you moving to?
We don't know yet.
That's okay. I'll be gone too, so hopefully.
We don't know yet.
I act like I'm literally not going to be like moving away too at some point.
It's, oh my gosh, I think it's the most liberating thing is to move away from your hometown. And like your hometown is always going to be here, family and friends, especially like in this like Acadiana parish. I feel like not many people go, which people our age are starting to go more now.
Like leave or like come back?
Leave,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
A ton of my friends who like I never thought would move before are definitely venturing out, which is great. And like they're finding this like new confidence and this like new perspective on just different cultures and people, and like who they are and what they're supposed to do and like different people they're supposed to meet and different purposes. But husband and I want to move. I have been wanting to move.
Mountains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Since I left Montana, which I'm like, you're like, tell me about you. And I'm like, I love the mountains. Like literally obsessed. Can't stop talking about it. Can't stop thinking about it.
No, they're beautiful.
For
sure.
And I never thought I would leave. And so, I say that because I was so, I don't know. I was just like this freer version of myself that I'd never felt before. Like there was just no pressure on me to perform. There was no, like, no one knows who you are. No one knows like where you come from or what you've done. And nobody cares. Like if they don't know you, it's not even like, I felt like when I lived away, like
you can walk into it like a grocery store.
Dude, go anywhere, drive on the road. You're not like, and like there's a beauty, right? And like having that community and like running into people and yeah, like having that social like gravity. But at the same time, for me, it was very liberating to live away. So coming back to growing where you're planted, I have been tussling for the last 3 years. In February, it will be 3 years since I've been like moved back home. And I kid you not, Elle, every single day, I'm like, ask me how fast I can pack.
No, literally same. That's literally how I feel. Because I'm stuck in a season where, like, obviously I'm still in college. So, like, I'm finishing out, like, my college. I have, like, a year left. So, once I'm done with that, I'm free to go anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where do I go?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, during my time, I literally have like written on here, it says, I hated my life. During sophomore year of college, I went to a different college. So if you are just a new listener, I used to go to this college back home, and then I transferred to another college. I went to LSU, Louisiana State University, go Tigers. But I just realized it wasn't a school for me, and it was just like too big and too much happening. And I was just like, I literally left because I thought I needed to get away, but I realized that I'm not running from, like, the things I'm running from, I can't run from, if that makes sense. Like, I was running from myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, they wasn't something that I could run away from, and I feel like that's kind of where the grow where you're planted phrase, like, for me, started, was that 2 years ago, because, like, I just didn't know how to, no matter where I was, I felt unhappy. And like, I thought going to LSU would fix all of my problems and just like make me feel better about the way that I was just feeling mentally, but it wasn't. I came to realize that sophomore year that it wasn't like where I was, it was who I was. And I feel like I was like, this is where I need to make a change in myself, because like once I moved back to Lafayette, that was like, I guess kind of like hitting rock bottom for me, because like that was where I came from, and like going back to where I came from, it was just like, okay, I'm doing the same thing over again. And then like also coming back, it made me feel like, I don't want to say like embarrassed because I left. It just felt like, okay, like I just felt like okay, Elle, what is this girl doing back home? Like, she literally left to go to a different college because she thought this college, like, wasn't good enough or whatever. So, like, what is she doing back? And so that just kind of, like, put a bad taste in my mouth. Probably for other people around me, too, because they were probably like, okay, what is this girl doing back here? Like, she left and she thought she was too good for us, and now she's back home. And so I even heard that. Like, some people that I was, like, thought I was friends with said that, like, behind my back. I know. And I thought it was, like, it was just definitely an eye-opener for me. And that's, like, so during that time, that's my experience with Grow Where You're Planted.
Yeah. And, I think we came from the same high school, too. So I think
we did.
Like, now that I'm thinking about this, a lot of that, like, whatever it may be, syndrome in my head that makes me feel
Imposter
like...
syndrome?
I don't even know what it is. Like... The STM syndrome, I don't really know. Like,
the measuring up syndrome?
Yeah, like, there's so much pressure, and some in positive ways, but mostly, like, you identify with this, like, you identify as this person who always has to be, like, producing and, like, doing the most, and, like, I don't know, like, being this perfect image, right? Like, you can't sustain that energy. You can't sustain that momentum. You're human. And so I feel like a lot of, like you said, coming back home, you're like, wait, am I backtracking? Or, like, I'm going to be thrown back into this, like, way of thinking and way of living. And it's just not healthy, and you can't sustain it. And it's, it burns you out very quick. And so... But yeah, I think too, so coming from, like, that really high pressure, performance-based, like, identity in high school, and then I actually went to UL over here, and then I didn't move away until grad school to go study to be a occupational therapist, and then never thought I would come back home, and then the fiance, has never moved away, and he's 8 years older than me, and he was not ready to move yet, and we had been talking about moving. It just wasn't the right time, and so now we're approaching that time of where it's like, okay, we can start planning about, like, what's in the near future and where to go. But at the same time, I can't, I'm such, like, an all or nothing person. Like, I can't live, like,
one foot in, one foot out.
Half-ass. Yeah. Like, it can't, no. Like, I'm ready to load up the car. I'm ready to sell the house, pack up the dog. Let's freaking go. Yeah. Like, let's go. Or I want to find, maybe not, like, let's go. I mean, I feel that genuinely, like, so hard in my soul. Like, let's go right now. I'm ready to go. I'll quit my job. No joke. I'm not scared. I, like, have the most freeing momentum when it comes to, like, just, like, packing up and going away again. But there's also a beauty in, like, being present and where your feet are planted. And these past 3 years, I've definitely felt like I've had to check myself multiple times in a humbling way and just be like, okay, you are here. What needs to be done? What does Kali need to do here and now? Whether that's, like, socially, like, physically, mentally, emotionally, like, how does God need me? And how does my community or my husband, like, need me to grow where I'm at right now? Because yes, everything inside of me internally is kicking and pushing and screaming and clawing at the door to leave.
Yes, same.
But that's not happening right now. And I think the last, gosh, I don't even know, like, this last year of, like, marriage, and, like, being totally saturated in the vocation of marriage and kind of just, like, focusing on that has definitely helped ground us in, like, a day-to-day, like, just, like, a lifestyle of day-to-day with your husband. Like, I feel like that's very grounding for me. But, like, individually, too, I don't know. Like, I still feel like there's things that God needs to do in my heart before we can actually go. Like, how am I being molded and whatnot?
I love that word, molded, because it's like you're constantly being, like, refurbished into, like, a better piece of, I don't want to say furniture. That's just what, I don't know why. That was just the first word. Like, I was thinking of, like, refurbished furniture. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I feel like it's very evident that me and Kali are, like, in the same phase of life, but different fonts, I guess. Because, like, yes, I'm in college, and yes, she's a grown woman with a real job and, like, living her life with her husband, and I'm, like, the most single ever. But the concept is the same because we are both ready to, lack of better words, get the fuck out of Lafayette, Louisiana. But the whole theme of this episode is, like, being present now where we are. Because, like, for circumstances, whether or not, like, you live in Lafayette, Louisiana, this can go for anyone. Like, whatever circumstances you are, and I feel like especially as women, we have, like, oh my god, I'm hiccuping. We have, like, an internal clock that's, like, ticking, and it's like, okay, it's time to start going, it's time to move. And for me, like, I feel like my internal clock is always like, okay, it's time for me to find a boyfriend, it's time for me to move out of my house with my family, it's time for me to, like, start looking for a job and figuring out what I'm gonna do with my life. But, like, at the same time, it's just, like, waking up every single day and doing the daily things that you have to do. Sometimes it's not, like, what you want to do, but, like, growing where you're planted, staying where, like, walking with your feet, focusing on the now is, like, sometimes the only thing that can get you through those moments where you feel like you're stuck.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, a big reason why I had to really push myself to focus on where I am now in the present moment is because I felt stuck.
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah,
I don't know if it was, like, being, like, in a small town or, like, if I just know everyone, but I came to realize that it was, like, more of a, like, I felt stuck mentally. Like, there was just something that was inside of my own heart that I was stuck on, and, like, that made me have to go back and, like, look at all the things that I struggle with and, like, be really honest with myself. And, like, I don't know if it's the same for you. Like, what is that like for you? Do you feel like you are more present now because you had to, like, put a reality check in? Like, how so?
Yeah, and I feel like that is, like, an everyday choice too. Like, I feel like I constantly have to live in this state of, like, surrender because
yeah, that's a good word.
If not, then, like, oh my god, like, when you are seemingly, like you said, the word stuck, or, like, you have this time frame of, like, you think your life is gonna go this way at a certain time. By this age, I'll be married. By this age, I'll have kids. By this age, I'll, like, be making this much money. Like, when those things don't play out, it's just like you almost feel set back. You almost feel like, okay, well, I didn't reach my goal. And, like, it's great to have goals, but, like, I think your goals can change with, like, obviously clearly wherever your feet are planted. And I definitely have to live in a state of surrender every day because no, I don't want to be here. No, I do not want to be here. I mean, I will say that 50 times, like, and I have to be honest about it. And I think being honest about it takes the edge off of, like, the anxiety of, like, feeling like I don't know, like, takes the edge off the anxiety of, like, you're not meant to be here. Like, it's like, no, it's okay. Like, this isn't forever. And, like, these are all such cliche things, and I think we can, like, come back to them, you know, like, we always can remember these phrases and, like, these sayings, but, like, when you're living this day-to-day life where you're like, crap, like,
I don't want to be here.
No one's, like, I don't want to be here. This is dragging me down. But I definitely have found, I find that the more that I'm able to just kind of, like, it sounds so cliche, like, I don't even want to say it.
Be present.
But, like, be grateful. Like,
oh, no, but it's so true, though.
Being grateful, it's, like, even for just, like, the most mundane things that, like, may seem so insignificant. Because it's, honestly, it's not even like, I mean, yes, I want significant things. I want to move to the mountains. I want to have my baby now. Like, I want to be pregnant now. Like, I want all these things. Which is not a bad thing, right? Like,
no, like, we all put desires.
It's not right. Like, you have to chase your dreams.
Right.
But grow where you're planted. I think gratitude has totally been like something that's grounded me, and like not even like honestly it has started off so fake sometimes, like in
That's
the mornings.
okay.
Dude, in the mornings. So you work out early, right?
Not this morning. I was supposed to, but
okay, but like
yes,
generally, like
Yes.
some people are just like, I don't like to work out in the mornings. I work out in the afternoons. Like I'm a morning person. I wake up literally like a crackhead. I don't need pre-workout, but I like to drink it because it just tastes great.
What?
And
Interesting.
yeah,
Love
I mean,
that.
it's, yeah, but waking up early and then going straight to work for what, like 9.5 hours, and you go home and it's time to cook and it's time to like meal prep and like
Yeah.
pack for the next day and like try to hurry up and like give yourself to your husband like in quality time or whatever that may be and look like for y'all. It's like, whoa, like yeah, I mean, like obviously you can get very burnt out, and it's, yeah, like time flies by, but then like obviously the weight of like, oh crap, like I still don't want to be here. I'm still not doing the things I want to be doing, or I don't have the things I want to have. I think just like waking up and deciding like, okay, no, like I'm letting go, like I'm gonna surrender, and like the more out of control I feel, like the more I'm trying to gain a sense of control, and like that just burns me out way too quick.
Oh my gosh, yes.
God, so many words.
No.
I don't know what I just said.
No, but for me, I feel like it's kind of weird, but I don't think I've ever been able to like pinpoint exactly how I'm feeling about this, because like growing where you're planted, for me, I've always felt like you kind of said like a sense of anxiety. I feel like I have a sense of FOMO that other people are living in the world, like places that I want to live.
Dude, yeah.
And that I'm not there right now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm wasting time living here whenever I could be living there and like starting my life there. But there's obviously a reason I'm here right now.
Yeah.
And that's like something that I have to literally constantly remind myself, because I'm like angry that, or sometimes I just get frustrated that I'm like, oh my god, I'm not living in Italy right now. Like I'm not teaching English to little Italians. Like I don't know. Like why am I not there? Like why am I not in Italy?
Yeah.
Like what is the word? Flocking? No. Frolicking through the freaking
potatoes
yeah,
to
and then,
potato fields.
yeah, like why am I not drinking wine and the I don't even know.
Eating all the breadsticks.
All of the things, like why I just want to walk everywhere. Like I want to go to Italy. I want to live there. There's so many places I want to see. There's so many things I want to do, but like also at the same time, I'm so young. I have a whole life ahead of me, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, all of my time is slipping away.
Yeah.
And it's like I have this like constant like
Striving.
I have this constant like back and forth battle in my head that's just like, okay, no, you need to finish college. But also I'm like, do I even want to be in college? Like, what am I doing? Like, there's these tugs that just make me question a lot. And that's something that's been very, like, challenging for me with this phrase, like, applying it to my life. Because dealing with FOMO and dealing with, like, that anxiety, like you said, has been a struggle for me, because I'm a very big overthinker. I struggle with, like, overthinking my whole life, and like the only place I truly feel like, I was telling my mom this yesterday, like I went to Christmas mass and I literally like was listening to them like just sing, like the choir, and they just sounded so beautiful. I just started crying, and I was like I don't even know why, like I just feel so like my mind just shuts up there, like my everything that I'm thinking, all of the 10,000 thoughts that are racing through my head about like where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, like it just shuts up. And I think that's like the one place that I feel peace at, is because like no matter what church you go to, for Catholics, like it's universal, and there's always going to be like everyone is. I'm definitely getting on a soapbox about that right now, but I probably shouldn't.
It's okay, say it. No,
but like
it's fine.
I just feel like going to mass for me, or like just sitting in a church, just feels so peaceful, because I don't know, it's just like I feel God's presence, because it's like the one place my mind is just like quiet for me. And that's like something that I can never really get without like, I just can't get it. Because I don't know, I don't think some people understand what it's like to like deal with the sense of anxiety that you feel for like not wanting to be in the place that you're physically in. Because like whenever you're not happy with the place you're physically in, you're like not mentally there.
Right.
And so whenever you're not mentally there, you're just like not happy.
Right.
And so it just like it just messes up your whole, like, just throws you off.
Yeah.
And you're just not yourself.
You're not your truest self. No.
And I felt like for a long time I wasn't my truest self because I was just, like, grappling with the fact that I'm stuck here. And instead I had to look at it a different way and be like, okay, I'm not stuck here. I'm here, and there's a reason I'm here, and I'm going to be here. Like, I'm done not being here. I'm done being upset that I'm here.
Right.
And I'm going to be here. And, like, for whoever's listening to this, like, if you're somewhere where you don't want to be physically, I think once you get out of the, like, sadness and, like, the victim mentality of being stuck there, you can grow in a different way once you're, like, able to shift your perspective and be like, okay, I'm here for this time period, and I'm gonna make the most of it.
Make the most of it. Literally told my dog that last night.
Wait, I've been wanting to tell you this the whole time. Your nails and this
my
is so beautiful.
Dog was pouting, and I was like, because my husband left, and the husband is the master, right?
Oh,
like, Aaron is her king. And I'm just kind of like second king. Like, I'm just like little king, small K.
Nail. Sorry.
Chill out, dude.
I think I just broke a nail. I'm gonna go get my nails removed. Continue. I'm listening. You're the empress.
I am. And I accept that. I wasn't in her life when he bought her, but she does respect me.
As she should.
But she was pouting, and I know when she's pouting versus when she's just resting. And I was like, I lightheartedly just like felt like looking over to her, that's my child. And I was like, no, you know what? It's me and you in this house right now. And I literally told her, I said, we're going to make the most of it, honey. Me and you, we're going to make the most of it. And we put on her little flannel, and we just kind of like,
y'all made the most of it.
We did. We made the most of it with our rice and gravy. But I think, like, I don't know. I need another question because I could just go on and on and on about this.
Okay. So, like, let's talk about roots. Like, how have your roots, like, the things from your past, like, have they had an impact on, like, being able to grow where you're planning? Like, for me, I've had experiences in Lafayette that made me want to leave. That's, like, why I wanted to leave. But I don't know if it's for you, if it's just, like, the sense of being here is just, like, mundane, familiar, or is it, like, do you have, like, reasons for wanting to leave?
Both. For sure. I think those coexist together and still do. I think, like, obviously, I mean, I know, like, anybody can attest to this, but, like, maybe not. I don't know. Like, I feel a lot of weight of, like, my past relationships being here.
Yeah, same.
It's, like, this weird... which, like, I totally respect my exes and their families, but, like...
It's just weird when they're all, like...
It's just weird, and then the whole, like... This is a small town, right? Like, everybody knows everybody, and it is the familiarity, and then, like, I crumble under social anxiety, like, of people knowing who I am, where I go, what I'm doing. Like,
you don't
some
like people knowing that?
No, like, I do not have social media. Like, I don't want.
I was about to get into
that. I mean,
that.
I have Pinterest, but my profile picture is literally a monkey in a t-shirt.
I know. I was trying to find a picture of what Kali looks like to send to my mom.
Monkey in a t-shirt, and he's like on the computer, like probably watching something he's not supposed to be watching, but he's cute. And I'm like, no one's gonna really think that that's actually me, so like run with it. But with that being said, like, totally the roots of, like, I don't know, like, high school was very hard. High school was very hard for me. And I know high school is just, like, a weird, like, you're obviously just, like, mentally, like, psychologically, physiologically, things are changing and it's awkward, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I think, like, socially, there was so much pressure on me that I put on myself. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I still identify with those things here in town. Like, and people probably, no, I know people genuinely. I'm weak.
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. It's just connected to my...
People don't care about you as much as you think. Oh, narcissist.
No, it's true though. Okay, so just... Okay, just... Okay, just start talking again.
And so I definitely, like, the roots of past relationships or like however you were raised, and to still kind of like, because like you may think like the way your parents raised you doesn't have like that much effect on you, but like it definitely does.
100%.
Oh my gosh, it does completely. And so, and my parents they're not here a lot of the time, but they live in Arizona, but they're also here sometimes. And so
They live in Arizona?
yeah, dude.
Since when?
Sedona, Arizona. It's beautiful. I think they bought their house like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Like right when I came back home, yeah. Which we still haven't gone and seen it, but we need to. It's, y'all, it overlooks Cathedral Rock. It's insane.
You
know
haven't
what Cathedral Rock is?
No, you haven't
Like,
seen it?
it literally opens up. I mean, I've seen pictures, but we're gonna go this year. Because Flagstaff, Arizona, where you fly into to go to Sedona, is one of the towns where I actually had a job offer. But we declined because hubby wasn't ready to move yet. And then we're gonna go check out that place, that town.
That would be so good though.
And it's like 40 minutes away from Sedona. So, but yeah, the roots of being here and just like, dude, like, no offense, Acadiana, but like, there is nothing to do but eat and like hang out with each other. And if I'm not trying to hang out with anyone besides my husband,
Literally.
and we are both very active. Like we love to run. We love to hike. I'm obsessed
we're
with
like
hiking.
literally below sea level here.
I haven't even been to Monkus Park because I'm like, I mean, it's beautiful and I love it. I think this town needs like probably 3 more Monkus Parks, but
Yeah.
because like it has done such good things for our community and it really is beautiful. But like I just can't. I don't know.
It's like a joke. Because it's like,
Well, I'm just like when you
No, I get it.
like when you're literally just like hiking in the mountains.
Yeah, then you come back here and you're like, what the?
And it's also just like the swampy air. I mean, I
Oh my
really
God.
thought we were just shitting on this again right now.
No, literally. No, it's like half of my podcast is literally me shitting on living here, but it's true. Like you don't get okay, but like with that comes like really awesome people. Like you're not gonna find. Let's highlight the good things about Louisiana. Like you're not gonna find the people here. You're not gonna
Yeah.
find the food anywhere
Right,
else. Like,
right.
You're not gonna find the Cajun like culture or anything. Like that's all so niche to like being in Lafayette,
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
And like on my last episode, we talked about how like Lafayette breeds just like creative, artistic people because like you don't have the opportunities that you want to have that other people have in big cities because like it's just not here. Like there
Right.
wasn't, like we said in my last episode, like there wasn't a skate park. So like if you want to like have a skate park, you have to be creative and like do things that are, you have to make opportunities for yourself. So like a lot of people who are creative like come from Lafayette because they didn't have the opportunities that
Yeah.
they wanted. So they had to literally make it for themselves. Like I had to make
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't one here. I mean, there
Yeah.
probably is. I don't know. But like, there's just lots of things that
Yeah.
this area is lacking.
There is. It is a rich community, but it
Also
there
dense.
is so there's just so much
More.
else in the world. There is. And to each their own. Like some people don't need all that and some people don't care to get out and see the world. But what was the question? OMG.
I don't know. Hold up. What was
Your
the-
roots versus like yeah.
But like also, I don't even think that it needs to be a question because it's just a conversation. But like the point is like, I feel like I don't think it's a bad thing that this desire is both on our hearts because for the longest time I felt really guilty for having this desire to leave.
Yeah.
Like I've always felt like
yes.
I've always felt like the sense of guilt that like I'm this bad child for wanting to leave. Like I have 3 siblings who are like kind of homebodies and that's fine. Like they're happy here. Like they have jobs here and like one of them's in high school here and like great for them, but like I don't see myself living here for the rest of my life. And like I've always felt this sense of like guilt for leaving my family and for like wanting to fly in my own direction and like do things for myself. But
Yeah.
I just feel like how like I want to experience like growth on a different level like away from here because I just feel like whenever I moved away for that like those 4 months I've literally had so much growth in that time. Like that was I don't think I could have experienced if I
Yeah.
lived here because
Yeah.
just like being in a different environment
Yeah.
and like getting a taste of that.
Yeah.
Like getting that taste of like what freedom and like what being truly like on your own felt
Right,
like.
right.
And then having to be not forced, but like having to come back and like be living the same lifestyle that I was living before. It just felt like a really like, I was like, damn it. Now I'm like, how do I live whenever I saw that? And like, how do I go back to living like my mundane life? If I don't know. It was just like it was like a reality check. And I'm sure that's how it felt for you whenever you came back from the mountains and you're like, oh my God, I'm stuck back in this freaking swamp. Like
1000%. I think I hit Johnson Street. I turned my music down after a 25-hour drive to my fiance for him. And I was like, hit Johnson Street, main artery of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Literally.
Like, don't expect to get anywhere fast on Johnson Street.
Oh
and I mean, it's not terrible, but you know.
It's not the best.
No, it's not. It's a little clogged. It's got a little cloggage in there. But yeah, I hit Johnson Street from Montana and I was like, whoa, like, we're back here? Like, we just voluntarily chose to drive 25 hours from where we were booming with growth, booming with like freedom and this like grounded sense of confidence, just like beautiful, authentic, just like true exponential growth, honestly, because like so different being away. But yeah, that's totally how I felt, and I didn't know that you felt that way, so this is really cool to actually like hear you talk about, because I relate 100%. Completely. But I mean, I keep going back to like grow where you're planted. So
I mean, that's so,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So like, get yourself a little garden when you're miserable.
Start planting some seeds.
We could go with the metaphors all day.
Oh my God.
But okay, so when I came back home, I've always gone to this one therapist, or he's like a spiritual counselor / therapist. He is brilliant. He's great. And Dr. Dan Jurek, he is with the Pax Renewal Center.
Oh my God, that's where I used to go.
Yeah?
Oh my God, we go to the same therapy place.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, Lafayette's like, you know.
Literally like 2 feet long. But it's fine.
But Dr. Dan told me, he was like,
Dr. Dan.
I went to him probably a few months after moving back, because I was like, yo, we gotta do something. Like, this
self-help,
like
needing
for real. Like, we are in a drought, and we're racing to get back out, and we're not, and we don't know how long we're gonna be here. Like, everything is just so confusing, and we're lost. Like, we're stuck. We're lost. We have no traction. We have no control over our life. So went to Dr. Dan, and he like, I've seen him throughout the years since high school, and so we kind of just like pick up where we left off, and I told him about Montana and stuff, and he was basically saying like, you are carrying out, like, you're never gonna lose the Kali that you were in Montana. Like, you are still her, but maybe she needs to put some roots down.
That's me retweeting what you're saying. I'm sorry, that's me retweeting.
I thought you were waving at the hobo with Diet Coke.
Come on, hobo, with your Diet Coke.
I mean, he's growing where he's planted.
He is, and that's exactly like we all need to be like the hobo. Sorry, that was really insensitive.
Oh,
was that insensitive?
I don't know. I think he's moving.
He's happy.
He's doing great. Anyways. Oh no. Okay. Anyways.
I'm sorry, you were saying something so like profound, and I just took a turn. Going back to what you were saying,
Dr. Dan was like, you can be the Montana bitch and you can be the Lafayette bitch at the same time, but you're Lafayette girl, like who you are in Lafayette, like, let's introduce her to the Montana girl. Like, let's coexist together. And like, basically that is why Grow Where You Planted stood out to me, because I am here for now. I cannot, dude, like, when I moved back and I realized, like, after that conversation with him, I was like, okay, like, basically, like, in a nutshell, I'm going to grow where I'm planted, and I'm going to give Lafayette, Louisiana the best version of Kali Boudreaux there ever is and ever was.
Yes.
But, you know, that also comes with, like, a different take and a different approach on life, and, like, so me and my husband are dealing with like infertility, and it's like, okay, with that growing where you're planted, it's like, okay, social boundaries in Lafayette, Louisiana. Like, just because you want to be the best version of yourself doesn't mean you owe every single person
an answer.
Like an answer or a slice of you, or like you don't have to be like, yes, be Jesus's hands and feet, but like you, like Jesus also like withdrew himself when he needed to, you know, like he also like pulled back and was like, okay, look, like, yes, I can heal all of you at once, but like I also like I gotta go. Like, I gotta go to this cave in this boat away from all of you. Don't follow me.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm gonna go take a second for myself. And, like, I feel like that's when I can create those moments of, like, Montana in Lafayette is when I, like, retreat from myself. And it's just me and my husband and, like, whatever that may look like. A long run or, like, you know, just the simple things. Like, just closing the door. And that helps me to grow where I'm planted. Like, you have to have a balance, and you have to have boundaries, and you have to have, like, you have to be very honest with yourself and other people. Mm-hmm. Like, I used to hate being honest with people, like, college and high school, like, before I had left town. Like, I thought, like, if I was honest with them and told them, like, look, I really don't want to hang out with you. Or, like, I don't want to go to this event. Or, like, I don't want to be posted on your pic on Instagram. Like, I don't want these things. It's like, you would upset them. Mm-hmm. And that would, but then at the same time, it's so freeing to just be honest. Mm-hmm. And you can actually grow in that moment, like, with where you're at, and just, like, hold your own, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think growing where you're planted looks different every day, but at the same time, like, you in your heart, you know, for, like, I know for sure, like, I feel it. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel that, like...
A difference in yourself?
It doesn't always mean that it's, like, easy.
No, it does not.
You know, because, like, you're thinking about a little seed that's growing. There's, like, tension on top that it has to burst through the top of the ground, mm-hmm. right? Like, there's going to be tension on
discomfort.
top.
There's discomfort.
Yes.
Like, it's
yes.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
Just because, like, what you're saying... I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go.
But just because of what you're saying, like, I feel like you're kind of... getting to the point that, like, even though you're here right now and you're making the most of it, it's not comfortable.
Right.
Like, it's not...
And it's okay. And like,
that's okay.
Right. And I find freedom in the fact that, like... And just being honest about that. Because, I mean, the more you fake to others, it's like your subconscious, and I feel like your ego inside of you is going to feel like... just like screaming, crying, and like almost like screaming, crying. You're just like, why are you doing this mm-hmm. to yourself? Like, why are you being fake? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to hold this image? Whatever. Like, that stunts your growth clearly. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, totally. I mean, whatever.
I wanted to go back to something that you said earlier about, like, that just really stood out to me about how you said, like, the therapist told you, like, you can be that version of yourself that you were in whenever you felt so free in Montana, but you can also be the version, like, those people can coexist. Like, that stood out to me so much because I think I was feeling that way so hard, like, especially just since I've been back in Lafayette. I was like, how can I be this Destin version, like the girl that I was in Destin, but like in Lafayette? And like, in Destin, I have the ocean, and I have all of these things. Like, I have the sunlight, I have no mosquitoes, I have like amazing roads that aren't freaking, like, don't have cracks in them, and I can actually drive on, and just like, there's attractive men. There's so many things there that aren't in Louisiana that I can have. And it's just like, oh my God, like, how do I get that back whenever I go back home? And like, for me, this whole semester was me realizing that I can be both, and like, I can take that version of who I was back there with me, and like, it doesn't have to be two separate people. Because like, whenever I came back, I felt like a part of me was gone. A part of my identity was stripped away whenever I came back. Because like, all that character development that I had up there, it felt like it stayed back there.
Right.
Like, whenever I came back home, it felt like I was just the person I was before I left. And so like, coming back, I was like, God, like, how do I get back to who I was over there? And like, all those people who are here didn't know who I was back there. So how are they gonna know? How do I be that person that I was there whenever it's just like the same bullshit? And I think that was like something that it's just been like, I think I've created a different version of myself. Like, I brought the things that I wanted back with me from Destin, but, like, at still some points, like, how can you do that whenever you're in the same place physically that you were
right.
whenever you were not in the place that you wanted to be,
right.
like, mentally, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like that, what you said, like, that was, like, literally so big for me because, like, I think you took the words out of my mouth that I've been feeling for months and didn't know how to, like, whatever the word is, I don't know the word, like, whatever the word is whenever you don't know how to say what you were trying to say. What is that word? Like, you took the words out of my mouth, basically, whenever you said that.
Yeah.
And, like, I want you to elaborate more on that because, like, that was just so insightful.
Like, how do I do that?
No, like, just tell me more about, like, whenever you came back home, like, how were you able to realize that you can be both? Like, you can be that girl you were in Montana, but also be Kali here and, like, create both of them in one person.
Yeah. I definitely think, like, honestly, still trying to figure that out. But
that's okay. That's an answer.
Still trying to figure that out. It's so kind of like what I said, going back, like, closing the door, retreating, and, like, creating my own Montana, like, in home. Like, no, I can't have mountains outside. No, I can't go hiking. But the sense of, like, I think I thrive when no one can get to me, like, socially.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Because I think that's also very interesting.
Yeah,
Kali doesn't have social media, and I've always been so jealous.
No, and I'm, like, such a bubbly person. Like, I don't want to come off as, like, serial killer vibes. Like, I'm very bubbly. I'm very, like, enthusiastic, and I'm a people person, and, like, I love showing people I care about them and listening to them. But, like, I think my job in healthcare, so being in healthcare, you're, like, a caregiver, right? And I think, like, when you pour yourself out for, like, 9 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week, it's like, whoa, like, what else do you have to give? And then, yeah, like, friends and family miss out, but at the same time, like, if they love you and they understand where you're at, like, I've been, like, it's not a secret. Like, everyone in my family, all my friends, everyone in Aaron's family knows it. My husband's family, they know that, like,
on social media?
Just like that I'm not, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. And so I think, like, pumping the brakes on, like, socializing has definitely, also I'm just tired. Like, we wake up at, like, 4:30 in the morning and work out. It's just like, you can't sustain that kind of life. Like, you have to pump the brakes. So I think my point is, like, in Montana, like, it was just me. Like, it wasn't even me and Aaron. It was just me. And so I have to create those spaces and those moments where it's like, you have to intentionally create those spaces and moments to reconnect. And I feel like when I reconnect in an intentional way, whether that be, which I've always written, that's how I pray. I've always write letters to God, and I always write and pray. That's just how I, like, get my words out best. But I think when I intentionally create those moments of just, like, phone is on do not disturb, or it's completely away from me, because someone's always going to need you. Like, yeah, they're always going to need you. And, like, I don't feel like, I mean, this is terrible. Like, I don't feel like I need anyone.
Others. No, that's, like, literally I'm jealous because, like, that is a great quality. Like, that, you having that is, like, you are far beyond everyone else and, like, in the whole 10 billion of us, like, because all of us, like, we're all addicted to social media, and, like, I've always been in all of you because, like, you don't have that, like, that, I don't want to say connection to social media, but, like, that chain, like, you don't have that ball and chain to social media. Like, I feel like my whole life since, like, 4th grade, social media, Instagram, all of that launched whenever I was in 4th grade. Yeah. So, like, if this has been in my, like, mind and my face since I was so young. Yeah. So it's always been, like, a part of me. And I think it's been that way for a lot of us. But, like, for you, I think it's amazing that you don't have that. Like, you don't have the longing to do that because, you, like you said, you were able to be intentional. And I feel like having intentions, like, you can't create some of the best opportunities for yourself I created for myself. Yeah. Like, that's a huge thing about my life. Like, I created this podcast, and this was not given to me at all. I created the possibility that I got to move, like that all the best things, like the best parts of 2023 for me, I created for myself. Like looking back, I listened to a Mel Robbins podcast, and like she says like 6 questions to go back and like reflect on your year, and like one of them, like, what were the best parts of 2023 for you? And all of the things that I was so proud of, or the things that I loved about this year, were things that I created, like opportunities that I created for myself. Yeah. And it wasn't anybody else that did it for me. Right. And those were like, and like imagine if you took the time to invest the things that you loved about 2023 and like put your whole like sweat, blood, and tears into that for the next 6 months. Like, what can you do? Right. And like that's kind of what I did with like the past 6 months. Like I've just been focusing on the things that I love, and like from that has come like amazing opportunities. And like I wouldn't, if I would be somewhere else, if I was in Destin, I wouldn't have created the opportunities that I have created, because I'm growing where I'm planted. Yes. Exactly. Yes. And I think you talking about like intentions, like that just came up in my mind, because like the best things for myself weren't given to me. They weren't.
Well, and it's not somebody else's like idea, I think, you know, like I think with social media, like I don't want what somebody like, I don't know, it's hard because like obviously I succumb to the pressure of comparison as well, like in my life, but I don't want it in my face as much. And it's like, the devil is so sneaky. Mm-hmm. And like, I just don't, like, I want God, I want what's in my heart and the desires and the promises that are like laid in my life for my life. Like I want those to come to fruition in their own time. Like, so like, I think not having social media, like totally respects the time and the journey to like watch your life unfold, and just like also be present in the way that your life is unfolding, regardless if it's fun or not, if it's easy or not, if it's like the most exhilarating or seemingly significant or insignificant season and time of your life. Like I think social media makes you feel like you always have to be significant, and
it does. 100%.
Like it's just, that's a joke, dude.
It is a joke. Like it's such a highlight reel.
But it's like, and like I want people to see me stunting as a bride when I had my little like glow moment. Like yes, I want everybody to see that, but at the same time, it's like, but for what? Like, what for what? Like just so they can see another pretty girl on the internet? Like get real. Like we have enough of that. Like I want to be a strong mother. I want to be a present, and like I just want to be a very like present and holy and like supportive wife. Like I want to fulfill the roles that I have, that like a lot of other people have as well, but like I don't know, like I don't know.
Your vocation is like, it can be normal. You know what I mean?
Right. Like it doesn't have beautiful, to be. No, and like nobody else is me, and there's so much power in like feeling and loving and knowing that. So no social media, but I mean, good things do come from social media, clearly.
Everything in moderation can be a good thing.
But I'm also, like I said in the very beginning of this episode, I'm very all or nothing. It's either 100% or it's nothing. So it's like with social media, like I always say this, I can't weed out the bad stuff and the toxic stuff that hurts me and that like dampens who I am and what I'm supposed to do and like how I identify with like my purposes and my beauty. I can't weed those bad things out in order to just focus on the good in social media. Like there's no filter.
Right. There's
like,
no filter.
I know there isn't, because I've dabbled in it. Like I had Instagram at one point. I had Facebook, Snapchat at one point. Were not lasting at all. And it's just, like the whole, there's no way I would be able to grow where I'm planted if I was seeing what all my high school friends were doing, or wanting them to know what I'm doing. Like, you know, there's no way. For me, there's no way. There's no way. Just being caught up. There's not enough time in the day. Like, I'd be spending too much time thinking and caring about what they're doing or if they're seeing what I'm doing, and like, please, like, I need to go stretch. I need to go pray. I need to like talk to my husband and connect with him on an intimate level. Like, you know,
there's just other things that you could be doing.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So wrapping up this episode, and like, since we are going into 2024, not 2020, I did accidentally say 2020 before this episode. But if you had like one word that you would want to live by for the next upcoming year, what would it be?
I am straight up praying about this. I'm not bullshitting you. I choose a word every year.
So does my mom.
I choose a word every year.
What was your word last year?
My word for 2023 was actually a phrase.
What was it?
Plot twist. It was intimate completion in him. Mm-hmm. So like Jesus, God. Okay. Intimate completion. Like,
finish what you were.
Oh my gosh. That has like, just, I don't know. Like, and I feel that wholeheartedly. Like, we have what, like a week left of 2023.
That's crazy.
And I definitely, like, looking back, see how like God has wrapped that up and how like my life has totally, and like you do, like I focus on it and like I let that marinate with me. But I'm praying about the next word. I don't know. I mean, like, if I could just sit here and like choose a word,
do you want me to come up with mine or tell you mine?
You have one?
I think I do. It's been like a word that has been just like, I've been seeing a lot in my life, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know why. Like, I've heard it like said a lot in just like moments, and like I've read it a lot. The word cultivate.
Okay.
But like, I don't know why or like what that means. Like, I don't know if that was just like, I've just been like seeing that word a lot in like the last 3 years of my life just like come to fruition.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that exactly means, but I don't know. It's just been like something that's just been like kind of whispered to my, like, it's just been something that I've been like just been thinking about. And I don't really know what that means, but like I don't know if it's just like cultivating like opportunities for myself and like what that can mean, but like that I think might be my word, but it could also not be. But that's kind of where my word might be going. But
cultivate.
For all of our listeners, you should definitely think of a word for 2024 and let us know what it will be. But
yeah, that would be fun. I would love to see different people's words.
Yeah, because like
you're gonna have to show them to me.
It's really fun. It really is fun. But I mean, guys, do you have anything else you want to add before we close out?
No. I mean, I don't know. I'm like so thankful to be here, and like I feel like we could just keep talking. And
me too. With one microphone.
We have one microphone.
Yeah, we should be talking like this.
We're
probably,
like doing
but we're literally
a duet.
Yeah, I know. We are doing a duet. It's like a 57-minute duet.
Wow. I don't know. I hope that everybody can. I don't know. I'm not here to give advice. I just want people to be at peace. Like, it's so like Miss Louisiana and Miss Universe, but like,
no, it's true though.
Just be nice, you know?
Yeah, be nice to each other and
be nice to yourself.
Oh, facts. Yeah, I'm like my own worst enemy, so I need to listen to that. Like, half the things on the podcast that I say are literally like I'm literally talking to myself. So
yeah, but you have to keep coming back.
Fun fact, like the advice I give, if I do give advice, it's like literally just like everything. I'm just projecting. Like literally the advice I give.
Be nice to yourself. Have fun. Relax. Love that word.
Yeah, relax. My word might be patience. Because I'm not patient. But yeah. Anyways, guys, with that, I thank you so much for coming on. I love you.
I love you too.
No,
it's so fun.
I know. I haven't seen her in like so long. It's been way too long. Because I ran into her at the gym and and then I saw her. I was having like the worst day ever at my coffee job because I